What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about what's in my pack. So first let me go over the pack itself a little bit and why I chose this one. This is the Umpqua Overlook, the chest pack. Now I know the hip packs and the sling packs are getting really popular now. I prefer a chest pack because, well, the biggest reason is my stuff would get wet in a sling pack. I wade in water that's, you know, waist deep, chest deep a lot of times, and sling pack is going to be underwater. So for that reason alone, I like a chest pack. Also, I just kind of like having everything up here on my chest where I can get to it fast. You know, it's all about being efficient, fast, just keep it simple. Don't need to be messing with packs and doing all this stuff. The other thing is on the back of the pack, which these straps go over your shoulder. That goes on your chest, obviously. Got these straps. Then you've got, I got there's a little hook here where I keep a gear keeper, and I don't have it with me right now, but my net just pops into that. It's a retractor. So whenever I get ready to net a fish, all I gotta do is reach behind me, grab my net, pull it out, net the fish, unhook it, let it go, then I can just let my net go. It goes right behind my back. This pack is also compatible. They have several other different packs in this Overlook series. There's like a smaller kind of a day pack, and there's a full backpack, and it's all compatible with this, I'm pretty sure. It all kind of clips together, integrates, which is awesome. This sort of suspension system in the back here, like you'd find in a high-end backpack, makes it real comfortable for all-day use. One of the features that I really like is this little fly patch on the top. It comes with it, and it's so handy. Changing flies, just, you know, pop your fly off, stick it in there, tie your new fly on. You don't have to mess with boxes. Really big compartment here, lots of room, which is why I love this pack in particular. Another reason why this pack is awesome, it's got these little slits in the sides of it. There's 4 of them, there's 2 on each side. So you can actually attach a zinger inside the pack, run it through, and then your tools can hang out. So I've got my nippers here on my right side. You know, I can pull them out, they're on a little retractor, zinger. Nip my extra tippet off, whatever I need to do, and it tucks up in there so it kind of stays out of your way. You don't get your line caught on it. Down here I just keep my hemos clipped onto there. Don't have to worry about them coming off. You know, I've got a fly dryer over here. I use that sometimes, not often, but I've also got tippet rings on that same little clip, so I do use those. And I don't have anything on the other one, but it's there. You got little pockets on the front, just stashing stuff real quick. And then this right here is the tippet caddy. I can't remember the brand or whatever, but this thing is worth its weight in gold. You get, you know, a stack of tippet like I've got here. You're gonna want a way to organize it and keep it handy rather than digging through pockets and wasting a lot of time out on the water. So when I need a piece of tippet, all I gotta do is grab this. I can look at it real quick, just a glance. You know, they're all labeled. So I need 6X, 7X, whatever. Grab it, pull it off. My nipper's right there. Snip it, good to go. So that's my pack. Now let's go into what I keep in my pack. So the meat and potatoes, the main compartment, the biggest one, is where I keep my fly boxes, and that's really all I keep in there. I keep, you know, the only other thing I keep in there is my boa repair kits, just because I have boa boots, and you want to have an extra repair kit if you got boots, because if that breaks on you when you're out, you're up the creek. But anyway, so I normally carry, this changes, but generally I carry 4 boxes. I got this little double-sided smaller box. This is where I keep the dry flies that I'm going to use. You know, I've got a big box at home that I keep, but the ones I'm going to use, or the most often used, I keep in this little pack here, or this little box here. You know, I keep my stimmies for, big stimmies for dry dropper. You know, got Puff Daddies. Over here I got stuff I'd use in like the park, or, you know, wild water. Got Parachute Adams, Griffith's Gnats, all kinds of little stuff like that. So that's my dry box. And you want to keep your flies organized. Makes it a whole lot easier to find them. Again, more time spent fishing rather than digging for things. So next is, this is my box. This is my main go-to. This is the one I grab, you know, 99% of the time. This is my nymph box. So it's a tacky box. There's a lot of hype around them. A lot of people love them, a lot of people don't. I can't say the way. I do know that they are a little overpriced, but we're not going to get into that. So I keep, you know, all my nymphs. Almost all of them are on jig hooks, tungsten beads. All have pure tungsten beads. They're all mostly Hannock comp style hooks, really high quality. That's, like I said, 99% of the time that's what I go to. I do like the magnets in these tacky boxes, and I like that they're clear so you can see through them. Then I also have what I call a junk box. It's where I keep, you know, my squirmies, my eggs, my mops, the Y2Ks, just junk, you know, that kind of stuff, delayed harvest stuff. Then I've got another tacky box. It's the big bug box. This is where I keep some streamers. I don't carry a ton of streamers with me. I've got another box, like a big cliff box that I keep most of my streamers in, but you know, I keep some trout streamers in here, some muddlers and some sculpins and little things like that. So usually that's all the flies I carry with me. Now that changes depending on where I'm at, what I'm doing. But generally that's what I keep in the pack. So this next pocket, this is where I keep all the supporting, you know, accessories, if you will. So leaders, you can never have too many spare leaders. I don't care if you've just fished for fun on the weekends, if you guide, especially if you guide, or whatever the case may be, you cannot have too many leaders. They will last you a while if you got a good cast and you're real careful not to tangle up, but it's gonna happen. You're gonna get a bird's nest. You're not gonna be able to get it out. You're gonna have to cut it. Your leader's ruined. Now you can build it out with tippet, but then you've got a whole bunch of knots in your leader, and that's more spots to tangle up. Most of the time I'd rather just put a fresh one on, be done with it. So I always keep a ton of leaders with me in all different sizes and weights. And I also got some just extra spools of tippet in case I run out, you know, on here. It'll happen because you can't see how much is on the spool, and you'll go pulling line, pulling line, pulling line. Then next time you eat it, you pull it and you'll have a piece this long because that's all that was left on there. So I always keep just an extra spool in my pack of the 6X and 7X because those are the two I'll use the most. Frog's fanny. This stuff is also worth its weight in gold. You gotta have the frog's fanny. If you're dry fly fishing, if you're dry dropper fishing, if you tie a dry fly on your line, you gotta have some frog's fanny. I've used the loon, I've used, you know, I've used the paste. Comes in the little round case and you rub your finger in it, the little paste. I've used the gels like the gink. I've used the spray-on stuff. None of it works as good as the frog's fanny. You can also brush a little bit on your nymphs if you're nymph fishing, and it causes it to it'll have bubbles on your fly, so it kind of looks like an emerger, like a natural emerger. So I always keep multiple bottles. I got 3 in my pack just because it goes pretty fast. Got some of this loon. I use this, I think it's a silicone based. I use it like on CDC and stuff. Right when I tie it on, like a fresh fly, I put it just a dab of this on there, and then I use my frog's fanny supplement. So but that's just at the beginning. I use it one time and then I don't really touch it for the rest of the day. I'm just touch it up with this Frogs Fanny. Keep a little thing of split shot. This is mostly for guide trips. I don't use split shot hardly ever. I can't even remember a time that I have used it, but you know, every now and then there might be a circumstance where you're going to need some split shot, and it doesn't take up that much room or weight, so it's just good to have it in the pack. Sometimes you get a client that just can't get a good drift to save their life, so you add a little split shot on there and get the flies down. It helps, so it's good to have a little pack of that. This stuff right here is a degreaser. This is from the Blue Quill Angler. It's like it feels like clay or like a mud. It's real sticky feeling, but this is awesome for Euro nymphing. So you get a little dab of it on your fingers and kind of pull your line through your fingers, and that just takes the grease, like any kind of oils off your skin or any kind of contaminants off your tippet. You'll go from your cider, which go check out my nymphing video, you'll know what I'm talking about. So you go from your cider all the way down to your flies, and it doesn't seem like it would make that much of a difference, but it does. It gets all that grease, all those oils off your line, and it helps it cut through the water faster. Your flies get down faster. It just works better. So there's that paste I was telling you about that I don't use it. It's been in here forever. It doesn't work. Don't buy it. Get Frogs Fanny. So then we have indicators. I have a ton of indicators. I like these smaller thingamabobbers. I like the smaller size. Pink, orange, you know, your high vis color is easier for clients to see. I don't really use these. I stick with Euro nymphing most of the time. I just prefer that. There's nothing wrong with using an indicator. Don't let anybody make you feel bad because you're using an indicator. You know, I do put them on every now and then because there's situations where you gotta have one. Get a good drift. So I have, you know, you don't need as many as I've got. I've got a whole pocket full of them, but that's just for guide trips, you know. So I keep a bunch of those for clients. And that's about it. I think I covered just about everything. I like this system works for me. I've said it before in some other videos, you just gotta find what works for you. Everybody's different. It keeps everything right here. I mean, if I need to get something out, it's right here. And then you've kind of got a little workstation where you can set things and whatnot, you know, pull your fly box out, whatever. I don't have to mess with pulling a pack around and doing all that nonsense. And it's comfortable, you know, fish all day with it. Like I said, I did use one of those smaller. This one goes over your shoulders. I think I explained that. So this one goes over your shoulders with these kind of like a backpack style. And then you've got a little pocket in the back that you can put some stuff. But I had one of the smaller ones. It had a strap like right up here on the top, and it would just go around your neck. And then it had another strap that would go around your waist. And I used that for years. And it was fine until I started getting more and more stuff, you know. And you know, if that's all you can afford or that's all you got, then go with it. That works. But if you can, I would really, really recommend one of these. It's so much more comfortable having, you know, there's not a ton of weight in here, but you're out for several hours. You're gonna want all that weight on your shoulders rather than on your neck. You're just gonna be a lot more comfortable, a lot less fatigued. So that's what I would recommend. I've got some more videos in the pipeline. You just have to be patient with me. I know I hadn't been putting out a ton of content here lately. To be honest with you, I've been out trying to get a video on throwing these big trout swim baits in the lake for big bass, and it's been a grind. It's been tough. Spending all day out on the water and, you know, looking for one bite and not getting it. But I really want to do a video on it. I want to get a cast to catch big bass on a big swim bait. I just think it'd be awesome. So I just got to keep grinding, keep sticking with it. You know, it'll happen. We got some monsters in these lakes and they eat trout. So stay tuned for that. If you got any questions for me about any of my gear, if you got any more suggestions for any kind of other video you want to see, just drop me a comment below. Let me know. Always look forward to reading you guys' comments and answering your questions. Like I always say, you can't catch them from the couch. So get out and go get them.